Have you ever had a Brazilian carrot cake? I know it's a thing. Yeah, it is, because we Brazilians, we grew up on this thing from south to north, wherever they make it. But especially, I think, southeast and south. It's so good. It's totally different from the American version. It's simpler. Have I mentioned that it has this chocolatey fudge topping or icing? You're gonna go crazy over it. So if you're Brazilian and you miss that, you don't need to miss it anymore, because I have just the recipe for you. And we're going to start by blending raw carrots for all baking goods, for all cakes. But for this cake especially, stick to the measurements, okay? It is very, very important, because the right density with the oil and the carrots, it's very, very important, okay? So we blend the carrots along with the oil, which is a neutral taste vegetable oil. It cannot be olive oil or coconut oil, okay? And sugar. Blend it well. And now we're going to mix the dry ingredients, which are all-purpose flour, cornstarch, and then you pour the carrot oil sugar mixture. Now, I want you to pay attention to something. Once you're baking a cake, you're making a cake, you do not overstir the batter, because it will develop the gluten. And for this type of leavening agent, which in this case is the baking powder, okay, it doesn't work well this way. So stir it just enough to mix all the ingredients together. Do not overstir, I repeat. Okay, I want to put an emphasis on this. It's important if you never made a cake. So there is a tip for you. There's a second one that I'm gonna bring up later on. Very useful as well, so stick with me. Now, I know you've noticed that I haven't added the baking powder, but it's because, another thing, you do not overstir it, because it will kill the properties, so the cake will be a mess. All right, so you add that, stir gently, and now we're going to add some acidity to work with the baking powder, which in this case is apple cider vinegar. Okay, again, stir gently. And now we're going to preheat the oven, which should be already preheated, okay? Every time you start making a cake, before you mix everything, just put your oven on, okay? This case, the temperature is pretty high. It's 230, 240, and in some cases, even 250 degrees Celsius. However, you know your oven, sometimes it's a little bit stronger, a little bit weaker, you know. So between those temperatures for about 30 to 35 minutes. So you grease a cake mold, pour the batter, and put it in the oven in the middle rack. And while we're making, we already made, the oven is baking the cake, we're going to make the chocolate fudge mixture, which in Portuguese is, we call it a brigadeiro. I don't know why it's called this way. So easy to make. You guys remember, I have 2 recipes for a condensed milk, a sweetened condensed milk. Grab one of those, and that's what we're going to add to the pot, along with chocolate powder and vegan butter, and that's that. And now we're going to stir until it gets a little bit thicker, but not too thick, otherwise it's going to be too solid on top of the cake. It's not gonna run to the sides, and you're not gonna have that whole show spectacle that we like so much when we see this type of dessert. So this is the right consistency. Now that your cake is ready, you have 2 options. But not before. Now listen to me, this is the second tip that it's really important. Do not try to cut the cake. Wait until it's completely room temperature. I know it's tempting, it smells so good, and I know. But the reason is, it's still cooking on the inside, all right? So if you cut, the cake is going to get denser, it's going to deflate, and all that work you put on is going to get ruined, and you're gonna hate it. Your cake is not gonna taste so good. So be patient. I know. but you have to in this case. And trust me, it will worth it. Now, the options, you can make little holes on top of your cake, so when you pour the sauce, the chocolate sauce, it runs inside the cake or not. I mean, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I mean, it's up to you. And now the moment we have all been waiting for. You just pour the sauce. And boy, oh boy, this is so good. And this is so good. Look at that. The more the better. Right. You're already making a chocolate cake. Oh, so good. Now, you're already making a chocolate cake, right? This is not the most like light and diet recipes out there, but we can once in a while indulge ourselves. We can do that. Now, once, I forgot to mention, but once you were making the the chocolate sauce, the chocolate fudge, add a pinch of salt to the chocolate. Every time I make a chocolate recipe, I do that because it wakes up the chocolate, you know, in case it's sleepy. Oh, it's so funny, I know. Guys, I need a moment. This is so comforting. Oh my God. Have you ever heard about this cake before? Have you tried to make it? It's a little bit tricky once to make it vegan. And the egg substitution, until I found out that you do not need eggs or egg substitute at all. Follow the recipe to the T, okay? And let me know in the comments how amazing is this cake. And if you're Brazilian, eu tenho certeza que tu vai gostar. Depois fala pra mim. Alright guys, so this is it for today. I hope you have enjoyed this recipe. Give me a like and subscribe to my channel. And follow me on my social medias, my other social medias. Alright, over here, okay? See you next time. Bye bye.